Hi, I'm Lisa Hayden with Channel 6, Central Kentucky TV, community focus on Washington County. And we are just happy as we can be today to have with us a local fella, Johnny Warren from Washington County, who is the...
I'm the Executive Artistic Director of the Stephen Foster Drama Association in Bardstown. And we produce the Stephen Foster Story, which is in its 60th season this summer, and we're very excited about that. But we also produce a Broadway musical every summer, as well as a live music concert series.
Yeah, all of which are just fabulous.
Thank you.
So I know last weekend was opening night and of the Stephen Foster Story, which of course that story in and of itself will bring you to tears, and it's at the amphitheater in Bardstown.
That's right.
My old Kentucky home.
Yes, and we did. It did rain on us Saturday night, but we held, and we ended up being able to complete the performance, and we were so happy to do so. What I told the audience that night was, we've waited 60 years for this moment. What's another 45 minutes or so? And so we did. We held for the rain to pass, and then we got to have the opening night performance of the 60th anniversary, which is special for so many reasons. This summer, for Washington Countyans, Charlotte Campbell is playing the role of Jeannie with the light brown hair, a Springfield native who is coming back to the show after several years. And there are plenty of Springfield connections and Washington County connections with the Stephen Foster Story, myself included.
Exactly. Steve McRae.
Steve McRae, exactly.
Who has been an actor and a singer for a long time.
Many, many years.
And he plays, does he play Dr. McDowell?
He does. He plays Stephen Foster's dad. His name is William B. Foster.
Okay.
And he's played that role for several years. He did play Dr. McDowell once upon a time. And he actually, his first professional job was at the Stephen Foster Story when he was just out of high school, maybe still in high school, I don't remember. But then, of course, he traveled around and has worked at several places and has come back to us in his mature years to play Stephen's father. But
he does an outstanding job.
He does, he does. I'm so proud of my cast. I do have the great fortune of being able to work with actors with so many different backgrounds from so many different places. We do have a handful of local and regional actors who perform in our shows, but we also have performers from all across the country who come and spend the summer in Bardstown. And that's part of what makes us unique and special, in my opinion, is that there are so many cultures that come together in a small town. Of course, when I was growing up in Springfield, when we got to go to Bardstown, that was a big deal. There was a Walmart there was a movie theater there, and of course then when I grew up and I traveled around the country performing in bigger cities, Bardstown is small town to me now. And it definitely feels like home, and I'm so glad to be able to work at such a great place, so near the community where I grew up.
Yes, indeed. And you know, when you talk about, I mean, I can remember as a child all of the actors coming into Bardstown for the summer.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, my grandmother, Jones, would rent a room to one of the actors for the summer, and we just thought we were always in awe of the performers and you know how talented they were.
Yeah, and the same thing happens today. You know, for 60 years we have been bringing that community of performers and technicians and artists and designers and directors all together for this summer event. And we do infiltrate the community in a way that is such a positive give and take. Our cast members from New York and Chicago and California and Florida come in, and they really get to experience the culture of our region, and they absolutely fall in love. And vice versa, our community and our region get to experience the opportunity to get to know people from different places with different backgrounds. So it's been a great trade in terms of just society and community working together for so many years. And stories like you mentioned about children getting to meet cast members in such a unique way like that, they happen still, and we are inundated with stories of that. You can imagine 60 years, about 50 cast members every summer, another 50 staff members. That's a lot of people who have worked at the Stephen Foster Drama Association and who have made friends all across Kentucky. So we're just thrilled to be able to continue that legacy.
Well, and you know, as you mentioned, there are also local people who are in the performance that get to know, you know, people from, and what a great opportunity and experience that is. And of course, Steve McRae has acted professionally all across the country.
Right.
And now Charlotte Campbell playing Jeannie, she is performing, I think, in various acting roles throughout the country.
She is. She just, actually, her contract where she was before coming to us this summer overlapped a little bit. So she was a couple of days coming late into our rehearsal from Colorado, where she's been working for a while.
Yeah.
So it's just a fantastic opportunity.
Oh, and Angela Nance.
Angela Crenshaw, absolutely.
Crenshaw,
is
right.
definitely a key player in the Stephen Foster story and has been with us for several years. And we're fortunate to have her in the cast as well.
And she has a beautiful voice as well.
She does. You
played
know,
Our Lady Day, you know.
She did, and I got to see that performance, and it was just excellent. I'm so proud of what is going on in this community in terms of support for the arts.
Yeah.
It's really important. I remember being involved in theater is not what I intended to do. When I grew up, I actually was going to be a band director, a high school band director. So I studied music and had a lot of opportunity there, but there certainly weren't any theatrical opportunities in this community when I was younger. And so to see that grow has been really important for me. And as you can tell from just the names that we've mentioned, that provides an opportunity for us to all work together and strengthen our region in terms of support for the arts. So I would like to congratulate this community on the efforts that have been made to support the arts. It's really
thanks,
important.
Johnny. Yeah. Well, I grew up in Bardstown, so I was accustomed to going to the Stephen Foster story. And it was rare that I missed a summer being able to attend at least once, sometimes multiple times.
And we do. We still have so many people who come to see the show either every year and sometimes once a week, and sometimes even more than that. We call them our Stephen Foster superfans, and we love them for sure. And that's something that I really would like to share today, is the opportunities that we have to experience what we do. We have what's called a show pass, which you can purchase, that will allow you to see the Stephen Foster story as many times as you want in the summer, and you get to see our Broadway musical, which this summer is Mary Poppins, twice, with that low dollar ticket show pass. So it's a great value for somebody who does want to come see the shows multiple times. We also have a season ticket that includes all of our 6 concerts, as well as a ticket to the Stephen Foster story and a ticket to Mary Poppins. And so there are a lot of affordable options. Our ticket prices are affordable anyway.
Very reasonable.
And so, and we really strive. Our Drama Association is a nonprofit, and one of our missions is to maintain the affordability of providing the kind of entertainment that we do in the region. And in addition to those great value opportunities, we have Kentucky Night, which is on June 23rd, coming up. It's a Saturday, June 23rd, and we have a great ticket discount for any Kentuckians that night. In addition to the discount, we also have a unique opportunity that night. It's the same night as our cast reunion. So we have cast members from all over the country, from all 60 years, who are coming in that night.
Oh.
And after the performance of the Stephen Foster story, of course, it ends with the cast singing My Old Kentucky Home. Then we invite all of those former cast members to the stage, and we sing it again. And there is absolutely, if you think you get cold chills on a normal night or tears in your eye to hear our cast sing My Old Kentucky Home, wait till you hear twice as many people singing My Old Kentucky Home. And it's just such a a fantastic opportunity.
Oh,
So
I've got to get
keep
that on
in
my
mind,
calendar.
for sure.
June 23rd.
Yeah, yeah.
And the show starts at what time?
8 p.m.
Okay. And so, of course, whenever they sing, and I always bring my visitors to see the performance, and because when they sing "Malcolm Take You Home" at the end, it just moves you to tears. It always does.
It does.
And and to have all these, oh gosh, I look forward to that.
It's a great time, and it's certainly an opportunity not to miss if you can make it that night on June 23rd. And we celebrate Kentucky in such a unique and special way. And I love the Stephen Foster story. It was written in the 1950s, 1957, 58. The play is set in the 1850s. And so there's just a lot of history represented in just those two things, when it was written and the era where the play is set. Of course, there's the history of Stephen Foster and his music that is now known all around the globe. But there's also a lot of American history within the show, Kentucky history, African American history, which is a really important part of Stephen Foster history and a really important part of what we do in performing the Stephen Foster story today. Not to mention, it's also a toe-tapping, fun summer musical where there's really something for everybody. I've seen a lot of, I don't mean to pigeonhole anybody, but I've seen a lot of older guys who maybe have never seen a musical before roll in because their wife or their grandchild dragged them in, and before the show they say, I don't know if I'm into this or not, and by intermission they are hooked because there truly is something for everybody in this show, and that's what I love about it. There's no bad language, there's nothing that you can't take a child to. It's absolute family friendly, fun, musical way to spend the summer with a lot of really important history weaved in it as well.
Right. Well, and there are children in the performance.
Yeah.
And and who played important. The story is actually based, of course, on Stephen Foster's life and real subjects in the performance.
Yeah, and one of the historic characters is Andrew Carnegie. And who is a historic figure who truly did grow up in the same hometown as Stephen Foster. And so we make that connection, and we see young Andrew Carnegie just learning the value of the dollar and what it means to be involved in industry. Of course, he grew up to be a very important person in American industry. And so that's just a really interesting and fun way to present that kind of history with a child character.
And the music is so beautiful, the songs that Stephen Foster wrote. And so, I think, are there 3 state songs? Of course, there's Malcolm Take You Home, which is Kentucky's, that Stephen Foster wrote. Yeah. And then there's the Swanee River.
There is one other. It's Swanee River,
which is Florida's state song. And so it's just 2.
Just the 2.
I was thinking there might be one more. But of course, he lived or died in Illinois.
He grew up in Pittsburgh.
Oh, grew up in Pittsburgh.
And died in New York.
Okay, right.
He did. And he was living in New York when he passed away at a young age. Another important part of that history of Stephen Foster.
And we won't divulge if he got with Jeannie or not.
Yeah, that's
we want our listening
surprise ending of the Stephen Foster story, whether he gets the girl or not, because there is someone who's vying for her attention. Right. His name is Dudley. And that's the character I played when I was in the Stephen Foster story.
You're not playing now because you got too many other.
This is my 20th season with the Stephen Foster story. I can't believe I've been there 20 years.
I can't either.
There's no way I'm old enough to be there 20 years. But I started as a performer in the show, and I played the role of Dudley. And then I became stage manager, and then marketing director. Then I started to direct shows, and then eventually became executive artistic director. And I've been in that position for 10 years.
Wow. Wow.
It's a great place to work.
I remember when you were playing Dudley, and you have a beautiful voice too, by the way,
Thank
Johnny.
You.
Yes, indeed. And your wife, I forgot her name.
Her name is Jennifer.
Jennifer, yeah.
It's confusing because she played Jeannie.
Jeannie, right.
And so a lot of people
Would
think
yeah.
Jen, Jeannie, make
Exactly.
that mistake. She played Jeannie. We actually met in the Stephen Foster Story.
Okay,
We
right.
met on my first night of rehearsal, and I was brand new to the Stephen Foster Story. I was pretty new to performing. I had done some shows at Campbellsville College at the time, then Campbellsville University. And this was my first big time opportunity, and I met Jen on the first night of rehearsal, and I knew pretty quickly that I wasn't going to forget her for sure. And so we were actually married before the next summer, which was very quick. And not only was I running off to join the theater, but I was very quickly marrying this new girl. My family,
who nobody knew, who
my
wasn't
family
from
didn't
here.
know. That's right. But it all worked out great, and
Yeah.
it's also a great part of our story
Yes.
and our home that we've made at the amphitheater.
Yeah. And what does Jen do now? Does she?
She does still perform. In fact, she's playing Mary Poppins
Oh,
in Mary Poppins
cool.
this summer.
Oh, great.
And we have a 6-year-old son, and he's not performing this year. His name is Cooper. But 2 summers ago, he had his first role at the amphitheater playing a munchkin in The Wizard of Oz while she was playing the Wicked Witch.
Oh, gosh, that's great.
So it's
all
a
in
great,
the family.
It is, and it's a great place
Yeah.
to work, and it's a great place to raise a family. We get to meet so many different people every summer, and we get to work in such a great community
Yeah.
as this region that we live in.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we're just so happy that the Stephen Foster story is, because I know there were some problems there with the stage.
There really were. The amphitheater is owned by the state of Kentucky, and Mile Kentucky Home State Park maintained the facility for all of the years that we've been there. There were multiple structural issues with the facility, and for several years we've been asking for proper maintenance and support to make sure we could continue safely operating in it. And this year the state made the decision, rather than to invest anything in making any repairs, they were just going to close it. And so for a short amount of time we thought that would be the end of the Stephen Foster Story and everything else that we do there. Thankfully, our county government stepped up and agreed to take on a lease and agreed to take on management of the maintenance, which has required a lot of support from our region. So a lot of our supporters have stepped up, contractors and electricians, and from the Bardstown community and beyond, who have stepped up to help us make the necessary repairs. And just in the nick of time, we passed our inspections and gained occupancy to start rehearsal for our 60th anniversary season. But it was very much in question whether this summer was going to get to happen, or any other summer was going to get to happen. And so another part of the requirements from the state is that following this season, we tear down the amphitheater, the stage, and the buildings next to it, and rebuild it. And so now we're starting a big fundraising campaign to make that happen. The county has just accepted a bid on the design, or on the construction of the building, and now we're fundraising to make that happen. We have a short amount of time. Anybody that's interested in supporting that can visit our website, stephenfoster.com. We also have a GoFundMe, Save the Amphitheater, that you could find if anybody wanted to contribute to saving the amphitheater and making sure that we can continue to provide the kind of entertainment that we do year after year. And we do believe we've had such an amazing amount of support, and so many people from across the state and across the country have really stepped up to help. And that's going to be necessary for us to continue, because we have a long way to go to make sure that we not just get through this summer, but can continue the next 60 years.
Well, my goodness, that's just scary.
It
thinking
was
that.
scary, and there were some really dark times. But out of that, and a lot of people told me while it was going on that there's going to be a silver lining here, and it was tough for me to see for a while because it looked like we were going to lose it. But the truth of the matter is, throughout that event, throughout the closure, because of the closure of the amphitheater, we really got to find out how much what we do means to our community, our region, and beyond. Our fans and supporters from, like I said, across the country reached out and stood up and said, no, we can't lose that.
Yeah.
And our community said that as well. And so
That's a
in the end,
Whew.
we feel more support now than ever, and we are more encouraged and invigorated than ever to keep working to provide what we do. It's tough, and as this community knows, I'm sure, it's tough to sell art.
yeah.
And there's so much competition with, you can watch a movie in your hand, there's so much entertainment, video games, etc., that vie for the attention, and it takes an investment of money and time to go someplace and see a show,
Yeah.
or to listen to a concert, or to see a ballet. And it's tough sometimes to maintain that. And so communities like this one, where there's a lot of effort to support the arts, is what it takes. And that's what's so important, and we're glad that we have that.
Well, you can watch a movie at home any old day, but you know, some of my children's fondest memories are going to the Stephen Foster Story every summer, going, you know, out to
Yeah.
dinner and to the Stephen. That was a big night out.
Yeah, it is, and it still is. And one of the things I love about it is, because we've been going for 60 years, we do have multiple generations who can come back and bring the next generation to experience the same fun night out, the same fun summer experience that they had when they were kids or they were parents. And there are very few opportunities in this day and age where you can do that for anything that have the kind of longevity that we have, where multiple generations can get that same experience.
Yeah.
And it really is uniting for families and for communities to have that thing that we all know and that we all care about. And we're just thrilled to be one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad that that worked out.
Me too.
And you know,
Me too.
not only do you have the Stephen Foster Story, but you know, you have, like for example, this summer, the Mary Poppins
Yeah.
story. Last summer, I think it was The Lion King.
Beauty and the Beast
Oh,
was
Beauty
our
and the
show
Beast last summer.
and this summer is Mary Poppins.
And a lot of families come and bring their children for those performances, or you know, make a night out
They
with
do.
birthday parties with your kids, bringing all their friends and seeing the show. And
It is, it is. The ticket price is so affordable. It's not the same as what it costs to go to Louisville and see a play. It's nowhere near what it costs to go to New York and see a Broadway show. But we do really have the quality
I think
of those shows.
how our adult tickets
Adult
are.
tickets are $20 or $25. We do have a facility charge and a processing fee on top of that, but it's still super affordable.
And children-
then children start at $11. And for small children, we have a $5 rate for both shows. So it's
What a
it's
heck
just
of a deal,
incredibly
yeah.
affordable. You really can bring the whole family and have a memorable experience that really will, like you say, last a lifetime and
Yeah.
become some of those favorite moments from childhood.
Yeah.
And that's, I just couldn't ask for a better job, a better place to work, and to share that kind of experience with,
Yeah.
and not just our community, but truly across the country. We have visitors every night to the Stephen Foster Story from foreign countries.
Well, that's right. Yeah, think about the tourists that come
Yeah.
in, and you know, we get that over here in Washington County, you know, because you know, I talk to people all the time that I meet that have been, you know, to the Stephen Foster Story, and then they come to Springfield and they go to Lincoln Homestead State Park and visit our parks. And of course, Montague Home State Park is just wonderful, and so so they get all, you know, the experiences of the whole area.
They really
what
do.
benefits you all benefits us, and vice versa.
That's exactly
you know.
right. We're definitely stronger together, aren't we?
Exactly.
That's the way we feel too.
So then you also have the performances, the summer series.
The concert series.
Concert
yeah,
series.
we have live music concerts of all different musical genres, and the first one is this coming Monday, which is
the tribute.
a Journey tribute
Right.
the music of Journey, the American band Journey. So most of our concerts really represent songs that people know. That's really what my primary goal is, because the Stephen Foster story is full of songs that people know. We have found that the most popular thing we can do are shows and concerts that feature songs that people know. Mary Poppins, chock full of songs that people know,
Right.
and our concert series too. We have the Journey tribute. We follow that with the music of ABBA, which is fun and
That'll be
exciting.
fun,
And
yep.
all the dancing queens can come out and have a good time. We have ladies with boas and a lot of fun. It's a great party kind of night. And then we have a country music artist named Dylan Scott, who has a hit out now that's really popular. The Monarchs come to us every year.
Everybody loves Monarchs.
Good old-fashioned
Yep.
rock and roll oldies from the Monarchs. Southern Accents is a tribute to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And then
that'll be good.
our final concert is a group that we've had before. It's a crowd favorite. They're called Creedence Revived. As you can imagine,
Creedence
tribute
Clearwater
to Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yeah, so it's tons of great music. And again, something for everybody at the
Yeah.
Amphitheater in Bardstown.
Now, when people come to the summer series shows, you used to have some tailgating
We do.
beforehand. I think a lot
We
of people
do.
make a real night of it, and
They do. A lot of people come. We have a beer garden and a spirits garden that open at 6:30, and a lot of people come and tailgate and bring a picnic dinner or a barbecue dinner and hang out. We have music playing in the beer garden before
and
the
then
show.
you also have your concession
We
stand.
do. Yeah, we sell
Which-
barbecue sandwiches and hot dogs and nachos and popcorn and all the traditional concession things. But yeah, if you didn't get a chance to get dinner, we have barbecue sandwiches and chips and that kind of thing too
Yeah.
in our concessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just always fun, always fun. And now then, so if someone wants to, now I know that there have been times I've also just shown up that evening at the last minute.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. We have 1,400 seats, and so most of the time there's a seat available. The things that we typically sell out would be our country music show, Dylan Scott this year, Mary Poppins. There's potential of that show selling out in advance.
Right.
And July 4th is a big night for us for the Stephen Foster story. So sometimes it can be tough to get a ticket on the night of.
You all have fireworks on.
We have fireworks after the show. We have birthday cake at intermission. July 4th is Stephen Foster's actual birthday. So we celebrate that. We have a bouncy house and old-fashioned games, hula hoop contest, and watermelon eating contest, and face painting, all of that before the show. So July 4th is just a really big night for us. And so that's something you would want to get tickets in advance. But if you're interested, you can check out StephenFoster.com.
Okay.
You can look for us on Facebook. Or call us at 1-800-626-1563.
And it's just easy to, you can just Google it and it'll
Yeah.
come right up.
It is, and we can. We have tickets available online. You can purchase your tickets any time of day or night that you want from our website, and it's really easy. Our customer service at the box office are always there, willing to answer questions and help you out. So don't hesitate to call or visit us at StephenFoster.com.
Yes. Well, Johnny, thank you so much for being here today. I'm just so relieved to know that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, everything's great.
And this is being the 60th year. We want. Do you still have Washington County Night?
Kentucky Night.
It's Kentucky
Yep,
Night and
Kentucky
covers
Night
everybody
includes
then.
everybody. Sure
Okay,
does.
and that's June 23rd.
June 23rd.
Because you get a discounted ticket on that night, then
We
you
do.
said, and plus the other
Yeah.
things will be going on.
We do.
that
There's
other-
a surrounding county discount night for Mary Poppins too. I don't know that off the top of my head, but you can call our box office to find out that.
Yeah. So no excuse not to come out and
right.
see the Stephen Foster story or Mary Poppins or both, and all the concerts. Oh, what are those tickets if you want to do the whole season with the show, Stephen Foster and the
Yeah.
other?
$160 will get you all 6 concerts, a ticket to the Stephen Foster story, and a ticket to Mary Poppins, which is an incredible value for all of those performances.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so that's a real steal.
It is.
Because it is very professional. I mean, these are professional actors from all over the country, and I just can't say enough about how wonderful it is. And they're just lucky to have Johnny Warren there to be in charge.
Thank you. I'm lucky to work there. I really am.
Well, thanks for being here today,
Thank you
Johnny.
so much.
Look
My
forward
pleasure.
to seeing you.
Thank you.
Yeah.